Wemby took a huge leap in his third NBA season. Take a look at everything he's accomplished so far. First team All-NBA, first team All-Defense, Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star, and finished top 3 in MVP voting. Wemby also led the league in blocks for the third year in a row, and his season is not done yet. So after a below-average game for Wemby in Game 5, what do you expect from him in Game 6?
Dominant performance, extra aggressive. When he starts off aggressive in the first half, the Spurs have success. So I expect him to pull his weight and then some. It's going to be up to other guys to kind of, to be complementary pieces and fill in when needed, because OKC has shown that they got guys willing to step up and do all the little things to help SGA out when he doesn't have it going. Wemby is going to need that even when he has it going. I expect him to have it going in Game 6.
Yeah, the world. Win or lose, I think the Spurs are going to win, but he's going to have a massive game either way.
Yeah, there's no chance, especially I think what we were speaking about earlier, just taking Game 5 post, not talking to the media. He's plotting, okay?
Yeah, he's ready. Hey, if you cannot go into Game 6 if you're Oklahoma City and think, man, this is going to be a cakewalk.
No, and they know that for sure.
This dude is unreal.
Especially because Wemby is averaging almost 39 minutes per game in this series, almost 10 more minutes per game than he did in the regular season. And in the first 2 rounds of these playoffs, is the workload perhaps starting to affect him a bit, Robin?
I think maybe a little bit, yeah. I imagine myself in that situation, I would definitely feel those extra 10 minutes.
I mean, we call him an alien, but guys, I think we've confirmed that he is only human.
Yeah, and it's not just the extra 10 minutes that he's playing. Those extra 10 minutes, he still has to be a focal point on offensive defense. It's not like he's going in there and not guard anybody or going in there and just standing in the corner for 10 minutes. There's still a tremendous workload that he has to account for, and that's something that the regular season did not prepare him for, because we know the San Antonio Spurs, they limit and they reduce guys' minutes during the regular season.
Well, this is already a guy he's the main force on both offense and defense for the Spurs, and the Spurs are down bodies. So that's exacerbating the situation right there. Exacerbating, I should say.
Yeah, it's both.
Both are yes. I would be exasperated as well.
Exactly. So what kind of stat line, saying all of that, do we need to see from him for the Spurs to really force a Game 7, Chris?
35 plus points, 14 plus rebounds, 5 plus blocks. I think and that's not saying they'll win if you get that. That's just to even put them in consideration for winning, put them in a position to do so. Because it still takes other guys stepping up. I mentioned De'Aaron Fox. I think he has to have a more aggressive and a productive and efficient game on the offensive end. I'm thinking 15 to 20 points on top of, handling the ball, getting guys in their offense, keeping the turnovers to a minimum. And Vassell, I need Vassell, Champagnie, I need those guys to hit open threes. And those guys tend to do so at home.
So you said 35, 14.
5.
And 5 blocks.
That's not much to ask for. That's not much to ask for. For him, no.
That's fine.
Yeah, he could do that.
I think he's going to have 40, though.
Yeah, he could.
He's going to have 40. He's going to have 40, though. 40, 15, 5.
This guy, I'm telling y'all think I'll be capping. That's what the young folks say out there.
Is that what they say? That's the vernacular they use?
I really want to
capping. That means you're lying. You're fibbing and stuff. Yeah, capping. Robin, they think I'm capping. This guy is the truth. This guy plays with an edge, so much of an edge that it rubs some people the wrong way, but he doesn't care, because he's going to go out there and try to take your heart out. And listen, I do agree with you, Robin and MJ. Y'all talking about him skipping out on media. I do feel like there was a message he was trying to send. There's enough talking. No more talking needs to be done. There's no more time to be filling with adding quotes. Because it's all about what's going to happen out there on the court. And so he wants to be a man of action, and I can't wait to see him in action tomorrow.
It's going to be good. All right, coming up, we'll preview the NBA draft.
2-night draft.
2 years, the second year. Yeah.
I like it. It's innovative.
It's provocative. It gets people talking. So the Washington Wizards have the #1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft. They also ended the season with the worst record. So their selection, of course, very important. The general consensus for now is that BYU's AJ Diabata will be the #1 pick. But there's also a lot of chatter that Darren Peterson from Kansas is in the mix as well. Chris, if you were running the Wizards, Who are you selecting first overall?
MJ, I'm getting old. I'm getting old.
First season.
I played high school ball with Carlos Boozer. We actually played on the same team for a little bit.
And now his son is.
And now his son is. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I played with Charles.
It feels like an attack.
You played with Charles? Is that right?
Yeah.
And I played with Robin's older brother in high school.
Alex?
Same team.
Oh.
Chris Lopez.
There's so many Lopez.
Chris Lopez.
There are a few of us.
Yeah. Anyway.
More boozers, though.
But point blank, we're getting old over here. With that being said, if I'm the Wizards, I'm taking AJ. I think this is a kid who has star potential, superstar potential. And I know ultimately this is a deep draft, and probably if whoever you take in the top 6 or 7 might end up being a perennial all-star. But I think for somebody like AJ, who is so versatile at his height and his position at that wing spot, I think he could do a lot of things and be a mismatch problem for opposing defenses. And so I think he is a can't miss prospect. I don't think you can, we've seen drafts where GMs haven't gotten fired for not taking certain guys.
Right.
I think AJ could potentially be of that ilk.
To that end, Robin, and hear me out, would it make sense for the Wizards to maybe trade back to number 2, but make sure they collect some assets from Utah, but pass on Diabate?
I'm not sure that makes sense to me. Honestly, he's such a great prospect. I think he slots in well with AD, with Trae Young, everything else they've got going on there.
Yeah.
That's not something I really believe in trading down.
Yeah, I can see even for the Wizards, like they keep the pick and take AJ. I still feel like it's up in the air as far as what the Wizards do with Anthony Davis. Because Anthony Davis came on record a few weeks ago and said, man, he wants to compete for championships. He wants to be in the MVP category. He wants to win Defensive Player of the Year. And the trajectory of the Wizards, like, I don't know
doesn't quite line up.
Yeah, it doesn't match up. Like, their timelines don't match up. So I feel like AD might be available this summer, depending on what they do end up doing with that pick.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you're thinking of these selections. There's so many other layers to this that you have to slot into the equation. Now, you touched on this, Robin, because the Wizards have that talented young core and made trades for both Trae Young, AD, as you've both mentioned. How dangerous can that group be? We didn't really see that come to fruition, of course.
I think they'll be a playoff team. I really like that AD and Trae both make up for each other's, perceived weaknesses, I suppose. Trae Young, he's not thought of as the best defender. He's a great playmaker, great on offense, great shooter, but Anthony Davis can cover that up. And the two of them in a pick and roll game is incredibly dangerous.
Right.
So I already like that as a backbone for the Wizards. And when you add that into what's developing for them, they can pick up some guys in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good players. Caleb Wilson, Darren Peterson out there. Those guys are. They're of the caliber where teams are talking about could be potential franchise players, right? And so they're that good, and this group is that good when you're talking about this draft class. So you can probably miss out on somebody like say you don't draft AJ. Okay, you may end up with a player that's going to be really, really good, right? And it might not hurt as much, but I just think it's too much of a risk to pass up on AJ. That's my 2 cents.
I'm right there with you. Generational talents, you can't just skip by them.
I think so. I think he is.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back with a playoff edition, a fit check. I need the fits to be so good.
You don't like this, MJ?
No, you always come first.
Oh, okay.
Not
My
you.
bad. I thought you were taking a shot at me.
The guys. Yeah.